Hey everybody, this is Juliana. Hey, I wanted to get out a quick call for you guys. I have started so many people in such a short time that I wanted to get some kind of training out before I can get some kind of a training site together for you guys that, to help keep things simple. So this call is not scripted, so please forgive me and any background noise interruptions that I might have and pauses that I might have. But I just want to make sure that you are totally prepared to handle your calls. This is a little different than a lot of us have done in the past because you don't have to pass up a qualifying sale to anybody. You're not dependent on your upline to close anybody for you or your sponsor. You get paid on your very first sale. It's going to you, okay? So you want to get prepared and sound like you know what you're doing. And the only way to do that is, to be comfortable with everything, the process. So that's what I want to cover here. A lot of programs they have you do three-way calls with your sponsor. Um, and just let me tell you my take on. I've done hundreds of them, maybe thousands. I don't know. I've done tons of those three-way calls. And here's what happens with a three-way call. First of all, you have to coordinate it. So sometimes that doesn't work the best for you and your prospect and your sponsor, and so it delays things. But when you do get them together, to talk on the phone, you're going to introduce them, basically as a person who knows what they're doing that's been here longer, whereas you're kind of putz, you don't know anything, you're just getting started. Okay, so it already there, it kind of takes you down a notch. Well, now the prospect talks to the person. Let's say it's me, and one of two things is going to happen. I handle the call really well, usually I do, but handle the call, and all of a sudden they're like, "Well, I want to work with her." So now they've got this thing going on where they came in through you and they want to be integrous. They want to, stay with you, but then they don't feel comfortable starting with the new person. They want to start directly with me. That's not a good situation, okay? The other thing that happens, I've seen happen over and over again, is that maybe you've kind of bonded. They kind of bond with the first person they talk to, and unless you had clashed, they like you and they want to work with you. So now what are they going to do? Well, they find out you're not qualified. They want to work with you. They want to know if you're successful. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, well, call me after you get qualified and make a couple of sales. Show me that it's working. So that's the kind of responses you get. So it's just, to me, it's just a huge waste of time. So what I want to do is just arm you guys with the information that you need just to handle this call. And here's the thing: what I'm finding with Prosperity People Systems is that you don't have to close them. You might have to guide them along a little bit if the conversation lulls, but they're literally telling me they want to sign up. I'm not asking them, so I just want to tell you that. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is some people in other programs I've done. They don't want to say that they're new, that they're just getting started. Okay, so it's tough. I mean, you don't want to lie about that. One lie leads to another lie. So I have to tell you, I've told, I've made a ton of sales just in my first few weeks, and I told them all that I just got started. Okay, but I also sound like I know what I'm doing. So. Guess what? They're excited. It's more exciting to start with someone who's making money right now or just getting started right now than someone who's been doing it for years, and they're what they're thinking in their head is, oh, well, of course she's making a lot of money. She's been doing it a couple of years, but what about the new guy? So those are the things going on in their head. So I just find that people tend to overthink a lot of this stuff. Um, for, so basically, I put together this document for you, and I'm sure you can see it here. Um, and what this is just kind of bullet points on to help you with the close, just some common stuff that you might want to have at your fingertips. But basically, here's what I do. Somebody calls my hotline, okay? I'm gonna of course say, call them, and I don't call the second the call comes in. Wait 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. But don't wait. Try not to wait too long. Of course it depends on the time of day and if you're busy, but I do try to call them pretty quick. Okay. I always say time kills deals. They're excited right now, catch them while they're hot, okay? But the first thing I'm going to do is, hey Tom, how are you doing? This is Juliana. You called my hotline. You left me a message to call you back, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, great. How are you doing? And just obviously do the pleasantries, and then the next thing I do is I ask them, hey, did you got a chance to watch the video? I mean, the hotline tells them that they had to watch the video to leave a message, so typically they say yes. And I might say something like, "Oh, wasn't that exciting? What did you like most about the video?" So, my computer just made a noise and I didn't know what it was. Hopefully, this did not stop recording. Anyway, so just ask them what they like most about the video. I get all kinds of answers to that. It doesn't really matter, whatever it is. Just say that's great. A lot of people say it's great because it's 14 minutes, and I know exactly what it is. That's awesome. And then the next thing you want to do is ask what questions that they have. If they're starting to ask about the products and testimonials, I definitely direct them down the page, see if they saw that stuff. Okay, and then just ask what questions do you have. Sometimes they just start firing away before you can even ask them. They're just like, I've got some questions. Okay. So I put a list here so far of the questions basically that I'm getting. Now I do want to say, if you get someone who is asking skeptical questions, okay, uh, you want to find out right away before they waste a bunch of your time. You want to find out if they're really interested, or this is just something that they want to get out of the way that they thought about, and then their questions turn positive. So if you find that they're asking kind of negative or skeptical questions, more than one, you definitely want to rate them. And rating them means, just finding out what their interest level is. And so you can just ask them this, if this is if you can't tell their interest level, you can't tell where they're at because they're asking kind of strange questions. I had a lady that asked me, why do you think I need self-improvement? I was like, I don't. But you get some weird ones sometimes. So, but here's what I do. I'll just say, hey, Tom, how would you rate your interest level on a scale of 1 to 10? Based on what you've seen already. 1 being that it's not for you, and 10 being you're ready to get started. Okay. Now I'll tell you, if they give you anything below a 7, they're telling you they're not very interested. A 6 or a 5 is just kind of barely there. If they give you a lower number than that, seriously, I would cut the call. I mean, you can ask them, what would it take? I don't usually do this, but in fact, I'm going to put it in here. What would it take to get that, uh, whatever the rating is, let's say 6 to a 10? Okay? So, and then see what they say. If they ask you a question that you can answer and the questions turn positive, go ahead and move on with the conversation. If not, and they're just skeptical, I would just tell them, hey, why don't you spend some time? We're not here to, push you. We want to work with people who are serious. So why don't you go back to the website, spend a little time on there, check out the other information on the site, and I would just tell them, call me back. If you find you're a little higher rating, like 8 or above, is usually the ones I want to talk to. 8 or above, 8, 9, or 10. So anyway, that's why that's there. But let's go ahead and let's see here. Right here is some conversational things. So these are just things. Let's say they ask a question, and then they might, start talking about one of these topics. And if they do, then these are things that you can kind of highlight. You don't want to shove it down their throat, but these are just things that you can cover, if they're not asking about it, or you can add to the conversation. Every conversation's different, okay? Um, I like to ask them as we're talking. When I get an opportunity, I answer some questions. If there's a little bit of a lull, hey, I want to bond with them a little bit. Going to ask them, what do you do for work right now? What are you doing? And then also find out, are you just looking for a supplement, or are you trying to replace what you're doing? You're trying to, replace that job. So I like to always ask those questions, all right? And then, like I said, these you can fit in, you may not fit them all in, but they're just little bullet points that I really like and or love about this business. So it is just so easy. It's simple. I hate to say that to people, but it is. It's like, I mean, it's true. It's very simple. Some people are worried about how long it takes to get set up. It's very easy, very quick. The autoresponder, it's built in. It's already set up. They have great, very well written messages. They get to the inbox even in Gmail. I tested like 10 of them when I first got started, so I use their autoresponder. You don't have to go set up an autoresponder yourself. It's set up for you on day one. So these are all just really good little, bullet points for you. Okay. Uh, let's see. We went over the interest level. After you answer questions, no more questions. Ask how soon you are. Okay, how soon are you ready to start making money with us? Okay, so a lot of times they'll tell you, hey, what's the next step? You want to be prepared for that. If you don't know, you can always ask them, how soon are you ready to start making money with us? Okay. Now, here's the most common questions. I put in, they want to know kind of what the total cost is. So obviously you have, if they get the bump, the 48 hours, they do it within that period of calling your hotline, then you'll have this, the total cost is going to be say for the 1500 is where the bump starts, so it's 1500 plus your admin fee of 347, you get a bump to 3500, okay? Um, so they're paying the admin fee for the level they bumped up to, they're going to get the bump to. So this is the admin fee for the 3500, and then in this case the 3500, they're going to pay the admin fee for the 7500. The total is 3947. They bump to 7500. And actually, let me put the 500 level, no bump. Total is 500 plus 167. Total is, what is that, 667. I've been getting a lot of the higher ones, not the 500. So, but okay, so 500, there's no bump, so it's 500 plus 167, total 667. Okay. Now, so that's answers that question, except for marketing. Okay. So typically they want to know how much the marketing costs, what kind of marketing you have. So marketing resources. Now, when they're almost everybody asks about how to get leads. So how do I get leads? How do I get leads? Okay. They're gonna ask that, So you want to cover, what the different lead sources that we have. Now, if you look in your back office of your website, let me just go grab that here really quick. I think I'm logged out. Okay, so we go to our marketing resources. Download the marketing guide. Okay, and in there you are going to have, all the different methods of marketing that they have that is done for you. So explain that to them, because most people don't want to do their own marketing. They don't want to spend hours a day on the computer doing Facebook and little classified ads and stuff like that. They want to just buy traffic. That's what most people want. So, I'm going to tell them about that we have ringless voicemail. These are all on the company back office, the Prosperity People Systems back office. You have text blasting, text marketing, SMS marketing. We have email marketing. We have print and display advertising. We have magazines and USA Today. There's solo ad traffic. Solo ads is just basically you rent a list from somebody. It's email marketing, basically, solo ads. There's print marketing, postcards and flyers, and they've got everything ready to go, templates, so you can just order it and boom, you're done. So they don't have to spend a ton of time marketing. So you want to be well versed in what those things are. I might fill some of them in here as well in this document, but also your sponsor probably sent you something. I know with you guys, I have an email that I send you out with some other marketing resources that I use that have done very well for me. So just let them know a ton, plethora of different resources that we have, sources that we have for marketing, for advertising. Okay, they can also do their own marketing, so which is fine too. They don't have to use our resources. Okay, they want to know how much it costs. Okay, I'm always tell them general rule of thumb, 10 to 20%. Okay, so that is 10 to 20% means if you want to make 10,000, let's say you want to make that in a month, you're going to spend $1,000 to $2,000 to do that. If you want to make that in a week, you're going to spend 1,000 to 2,000 that week to do that. I am noticing that my marketing cost is lower with this business, but that's my general rule of thumb. What I tell people, and at the beginning, I'd recommend going to the higher. You don't go to the 20%, even more if you can, because the more you do, the more you make, and the quicker you fill your pipeline, because you don't have anybody that's going to call your hotline from last week because you didn't have any leads last week. So it's a good idea to start out strong, get your pipeline full, and then just kind of as you go, you can start as you start getting sales, just allocate a percentage. So that's basically how I explain that. Okay. Let's see. Now, additional costs for marketing. Of course, they're going to have their 800 link number. That's $10 a month for their hotline number. And then also, if they're doing their own marketing, they definitely need a domain. They can pick it up at GoDaddy. GoDaddy might not be the cheapest, but they've got great customer support. It's $11 a year for a domain, so it's not very much. Okay, now let's say that they want to know how many hours do they need to work, to be successful with the business. So what I tell them is, as far as the hours, most people, all they do is call the hotlines that come in. So there's not a ton of hotlines. I mean, a very high percentage, like close to 80-90% of those hotlines are going to get started. They're going to sign up. And so you don't need a ton of hotlines to make a good amount of sales. So that's not going to take a ton of time, and you might have a new member that has questions. So the 5 to 10 hours a week is generally what I tell them. Easily can do it in 5 to 10 hours a week once you get started. And then if they want to increase conversions, they can always call their opt-ins. Okay, they can call their opt-ins and just pick up the phone and call them. Now that's a lot more work. You're going to be talking about several hours a day, so that's up to them if they want to do that. So, and also, do they want to call them once or twice? Do they want to text them? That kind of thing. So that just depends. Now, obviously, the more you reach out to them, you're going to increase conversions. That's all there is to it. So they certainly can do that. Okay. Oh, one thing I forgot to cover right here in your advertising. So you're going to start getting hotlines, and the hotlines sound pretty good. They sound really good. So this is the time when you're talking about marketing. I'll ask them, do you want to hear how the leads come in, and the messages we get? They always say yes. So I just grab a couple real good ones. Like I just had one that said 11,000 or 7,500. I'll keep a couple of good ones, 3,500, and I'll play 2, 3 of those messages. They love it. I said, "Do you want to call that person back?" Yeah, because they sound great. The hotlines sound great. They're already ready to go. They've decided on what level they want. And they've gone through all the information and met the criteria on the hotline. So those are really good. So the way you play them, you can just play them and they can hear it. Like I'll play it on my computer, so I guess it'll depend on where you're at, but I play it on my computer and they can just hear it over my phone. I just kind of crank up the volume. So that's what I do. Okay. All right. So we taught. Let's see. What did we cover? How much the marketing costs? Yes. How many hours per week? Yes, we covered. Okay. How quickly can they start making money? I had a $3,500 hotline on my first day, and that was a sale my second day. So very fast. I'm sure there's people that got paid even their first day. So that's very possible, but also it could not happen that fast. So obviously we can't guarantee that. So um, They want to know if there's training calls. Yes, we have a training call every Thursday night, and that's at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern. And that training calls every Thursday. And then they'll ask, are there conference calls? We do have conference calls right now, but to me, they're not. You would have to listen for yourself, but right now, I would not send a prospect to those. Um, hopefully, if we get better calls, I'll remember to come in here and update this. But so check. I mean, obviously check, but right now, uh, no. The conference calls are they're just they're more of a negative than a positive. Let's put it that way. There's no excitement. There's no, and I don't mean hype, but I mean there's just no energy on the call. Okay, next question. Can I upgrade? Yes, they can upgrade. All they have to do is pay the difference between the product package that they purchased and the level that they want to upgrade to. And then they also, actually, it's the level they got bumped to and the level they want to upgrade to. And then plus they have to pay the difference in the admin fee um, for the two levels. So just the difference. They don't have to pay an all new admin fee. Okay. Uh, they want to know, oh, this was supposed to say, how do I get paid? How do I get paid? Sorry, guys, I told you this wasn't scripted. Okay, here we go. Let's make this look a little prettier. All right, all right. So how do I get paid? Well, you get paid immediately or however you choose. They pay you direct. You choose cashier's check, money order, overnight. You do Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. There's lots of other options out there. These are the ones I use, cashier's check or money order overnight. I like cash overnight too. Uh, Cash App and Venmo, etc. Okay? I know there's like Google Pay and Apple Pay and all these other things. These seem to be enough. Almost everybody has one of these options. If not, they can just do the overnight. That's easy. Now, for overnighting, you might let them know that the post office, although it doesn't usually get to you overnight, it takes a couple of days. It is a lot cheaper than FedEx or UPS. So, uh, so you might just notate that. Okay. Now, the next thing is just be ready to sign them up. I mean, if they've gone this far and they've asked their questions and their questions are starting to fizzle, you don't want to let the conversation get too off track. Sometimes you can talk them out of the sale, right, by talking too much. So if they're already pretty much sold and ready to go, a lot of times what they'll say at this point is, well, what's my next step? They'll ask you that. What's my next step? Okay? And that means they're ready, guys. If they say, what's the next step? They're ready to sign up. And so then what you want to ask them, if you don't know the level, they might have asked you about the levels and told you already what level they're doing. That's fine. I will go over that. Then I'll say, okay, you want to do the $3,500 level. And then remember the admin fee is for the 7,500 level, so that's 447, and I give them the total of 3947, and they'll be sending that whole thing to you, so you want to tell them that, okay? And then ask them how they want to pay, and they'll sometimes they already know how they want to pay. They'll just tell you, hey, I want to just overnight a cashier's check, or I'll do Zelle, or I'll do Cash App. They already know what they want to do for their payment, but sometimes they don't. They'll say, what would you suggest? Now, again, I've only been doing this a few weeks, but I want to tell you kind of my experience. I had I've received payments by cashier's check or money order overnight. I've received Zelle payments. I've received Cash App payments and Venmo. Cash App kind of freaked me out a little bit. I received within a couple of day period or maybe 24-hour period, I received one of the $1,500 sales. So it's like what is that, 1847? um, and That's what it is, right? Yeah, 1847. And then the next day I got another one and they failed the payment. So the guy sent the payment, but then it got canceled. Okay? And I reached out to them and they just said, "Oh, well, it's just to protect you. from fraud or protect them from fraud, whatever. I don't know. Well, I mean, I've used Cash App for a long time, but I know these transactions are bigger transactions. They do have sending limits, like Cash App if it's the first time you use it, Zelle if the first time you use it. So those are questions you want to ask them. Like if they've never used Zelle before, the first time they do it, they can only send 500. But you can always have them use, like I just got a payment today uh, for 3,500. Oh, sorry, yesterday for 3,500, and 2,500 came through Zelle, and then the rest came through. I think it was Venmo or Cash App. It was Venmo, I think. So they can do, or they could do Zelle. They could do a payment today. Let's say their limit was 2,500. They can do 2,500 on Zelle today, and then do the other, the balance tomorrow on Zelle. So you just gotta kind of be creative how they want to do it. So, and what you prefer. Okay, so getting back to if they say what's the next step, or okay, I'm ready to go, what do I do now? That means they are ready, guys. Okay, so now you've got to send them an email. You need to have your emails prepared already, um, ready to go. So the best thing for you to do, let me grab, let's see. So I made one. Okay, here, I made one where I don't have my personal information on it. Okay, so here's one you can see of mine where it just says welcome aboard. Here are my payment options. From Juliana, my payment options. Pretty simple. Okay, Zelle, Pay to. Since I have a business, it doesn't always ask have them choose business or personal. So if they don't have that option, then they have to type it in this way: the diamond, and then as the first name, and Marketing Inc. as the last name. And then I put in my email and my phone number that's associated with that Zelle account. Okay, and then Cash App, it's going to be your Cash App handle. It starts with a dollar sign, and then Venmo starts with an @ sign, and you just put that in here, and then you've got your overnight cashier's check or money order payable to you or your company, and put your address there. And then always you have this, please send the tracking number if overnighting a cashier's check or a money order. Okay, and then you want your name and obviously your direct phone number so they can get a hold of you in case they have any questions. So you want to have this ready. Okay, you also want to have your registration ready. That's actually what you send them. I send them at the same time, the registration and the payment options. So the registration is, hang on, I'm grabbing it. Okay, so you're going to put in your link. Your link is going to be, it's on your dashboard. Okay, on your dashboard, and it says referral URL, and it should have you'll see it there. It's the very first one, referral URL. That's what you put here. Okay, and then so if, for instance, with this email, when I send it to them, fill the form out. So if they're joining at 3,500 to get the bump to 7,500, when they register for 3,500. Okay, and then they'll be upgraded. So sometimes they'll ask, do I sign up for the 35 or the 75? Okay, so that's how you have them do it. At least right now, that's how we're doing it. They sign up for the level of the money they're sending you, basically. Okay, and then they'll get upgraded to the next level. Okay, that's simple. Registration's easy. They don't pay anything on the registration because they're sending the admin fee to you. So hopefully that helps. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to have those ready, like I said, so you can send them and send them off to them. And then I would let them know, you want to talk about the 48-hour bump. You don't want to be too pushy about it, but we're supposed to adhere to that pretty closely, that, 48 hours from when they call the hotline and speak to you. Um, and so you know what, you just want to let them know, listen, I can hold this bump. I can lock you in here for until Tuesday or Wednesday. If they a lot of times they'll tell you, hey, I'm going to the bank right now, or I'm doing that tomorrow, I'll do it tonight, or I'm sending you a Zelle. So a lot of times you don't really need to do that if they're telling you, but if they don't, definitely mention that. But again, don't be pushy. You can kind of tell with people when you shouldn't do that. So now if they don't say, hey, what's the next step, and you're not sure, you're kind of, the conversation's starting to kind of die off. Their questions have stopped. Again, you don't want to talk them out of the sale by doing too much chitter chatter after that, right? You also don't want to show them that you're going to be on a call for an hour with the prospect, because whatever you're doing with them, they're going to see themselves doing. And if you spend an hour on the phone with them chitty chatting, guess what? They're going to think they got to do that. And they're going to say, I don't have time for that. Okay? So you want to, obviously be friendly and, like I said, build rapport with them, but don't get to the point where you're just idle chit chat. Okay? Babbling like I'm doing right now. Okay. So now, in this case, they didn't say what's the next step, and you're wondering. So you're going to say, just ask them, how soon are you ready to start making money with us? I do this all the time, guys. I know it seems kind of like hokey or something, but they'll tell you. They'll say, "Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I can do it tonight. I'm going to do it right now." Because some people you just can't read. They're not as transparent as others. So you just got to ask that question, okay? And then you email them your payment instructions and the registration. Yeah, just say welcome aboard. And it's a good idea, you guys, get these emails ready. You want to have these emails ready to go. So you have to do, you can see I use Outlook, and it's an older version because I love it, but you just want to have it ready to go, so you can just open it up, hit forward, and and then you just obviously clean it up, get rid of all this forwarding stuff. But it's ready to go. So that's all you got to do, is just go like that, and then type in their email and their name there, and you're ready to go. Okay. So no, I don't want to save changes. And then where you want to save them is, let's say you use Gmail. If you use Gmail, you can save it right here you can save it to drafts. Just select this, and then you can move to, and then just put it in drafts, or you can make a folder. I have folders. So basically, that's how you do that. So have those ready to go. So this is all for this call. I'm going to make another call for the different marketing methods, GoDaddy forwarding, that kind of stuff, and probably one just for getting your new members getting started. I'll make a video. And I hope this helps you guys. And hopefully I'll be sending you a training site soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.